Hi there. Today we're going to go over inverse and direct variation and show you how they work in tables. First thing is, on the notes here, what is direct variation? Direct variation is where you have an equation like this. Y equals Kx. Now K, believe it or not, stands for constant, which starts with the C, but K is usually what people use for a constant. That means it's a number. So it's going to be y equals 10x or y equals 20x. So that's how that equation works. Inverse variation, the way I like to write it is yx equals k. All right. So on that one, when you multiply y times x, you're going to get a number. So it's like y times x is 50 or y times x equals 100. So the first one I'm going to go over is inverse variation, because this one's the easiest one, I think, to figure out in these tables. So we're looking at this table here, and we want to, you would need to figure out, is it inverse variation? And this is how you do it. All right, what you do, let me move this down a little bit. There we go. So if it's inverse variation, y times x equals a number. So first point you have is 2 and 50. 2, let's see, times 50 equals, what does 2 times 50 equal? 100. Okay, let's check the next one. You have 4 and 25. 4 times 25 equals 100 again. I want to make sure all of them equal 100. 8 times 12.5 equals 100. And as you know, 20 times, times 5 also equals 100. Okay, so now you found what the constant is. The constant, as you may have guessed, is 100. And then we don't need an extra window here. I'll just use this one. When we write let me make this a little bigger too. Make it a little bigger for you. All right. When you write the equation, you're going to write, it's an inverse because you're multiplying x and y. So every time you multiply x times y, or y, you can write, let me go back up here for a minute. You can write this inverse equation, y times x equals k, or x times y equals k. It's the same thing. 2 times 5 is the same as 5 times 2. So I guess it makes more sense to write x times y equals 100. That's your equation, because every time you multiply x times y, you get 100. That's inverse variation. Let's do a direct variation. Direct variation is a little different. Box here. Now, if you're checking to see if this is, where did that go? If this is inverse variation, you would multiply, because you need to check when I don't tell you. I've told you this is direct variation, but let's confirm it. So if it was inverse variation, you would do 2 times 3 equals 6. Okay, now next one we have is 5 times 7.5, which is, what's that, 37.5, I think. Let's confirm it on the calculator. 5 times 7.5, 37.5. Okay, so they don't equal the same thing. X times y does not equal the same thing. Not inverse. Okay, so then we know it must be direct, because we're only doing direct and inverse. So, get another table over here, or another window. Okay, so we're going to need to find out what k is for the direct variation. Now, you know from up top here that direct variation is y equals kx. Something times x, y, okay? Now, the way you can find that, as you see in step 2 here, we've done step 1. Step 2 here, you can divide y divided by x. So for the first point, we have 3 divided by 2. That comes from right here, y divided by x, right? That equals 1.5. We have 7.5 divided by 5. I know that equals 1.5, but I'm going to do it in the calculator just to make sure. 1.5 divided by 5. That is 1.5. Hopefully you can see that. 1.5. And then we continue. 9 divided by 6. Remember, we're doing y divided by x every time. 1.5 again. And 15 divided by 10 equals 1.5. Okay, it equals the same thing every time. You may have guessed by now that our k is going to be 1.5. So in the direct variation equation, you have y equals kx. Make it a little bigger, make sure you guys can all see this. And I'm going to put these notes in the assignment folder also. Now you know what k is because you've just found it. Y equals, instead of k, 1.5 x. What that means is y always equals 1.5 times x. I mean, you can check it. First point, it's 2, 3. What's 1.5 times 2? It's 3. Also, the second one is 5, 7.5. So 1.5 times 5 is 7.5. So it checks out. Okay, so there's 2 examples. Now we have a couple more. Now you don't know which one's which on here. One of these is inverse, one is direct. Let's find out what they are. So you might want to pause now and try this on your own. I'll keep going. So hopefully now that I'm going, you pause it and try it on your own. So I'm going to pop another window in here. All right, so the easiest thing to tell is if it's inverse. So I'm going to see if it's inverse first. All right, so the first set of coordinates we have here is 2 and 15. So 2 times 15 equals 30. Okay. Now, if the next one equals 30, it's probably going to be inverse here. So 3 times 10 equals 30. Okay, now I know also, oh, here we go, 5 times 6 equals 30, yes, and 6 times 5 equals 30. There we go, so that's inverse. So you can write somewhere, get these boxes copied, make some more stuff. So you're going to write it's inverse, because it asks, is it inverse? Okay, and then the inverse equation, if you look back up here, is yx equals k, or xy equals k, same thing. So I'm going to do the xy, that's x times y, equals, what does it equal? What happened when you did it here? It equals 30. Every time you multiplied x and y, you get 30. Now remember, x, y, that means x times y. When the 2 letters are together, you multiply them. If it said x plus y, that's something different. But it's together, x, y, you multiply. All right. Okay, moving along here. Got one more example, and then I'm going to let you go to do some more examples for your work. Hopefully you're watching this before the Zoom session. So I'm going to check to see if this is inverse. I know it's direct because I know one of these is direct. But we'll find out first. Is it inverse? Let's see. 1 times 6 equals 6. And 3 times 18 equals, I should know this one, 54. Let's confirm. 3 times 18, 54. Okay, that does not equal the same thing. X times y does not equal the same thing every time. Therefore, it's not inverse. So I'll just put this S here, not inverse. Okay. Now we know it's direct. So what do we do? How do we find out the constant in direct? I don't know. I don't remember. Well, let's look back. The ratio for points y divided by x is the k value. Okay? We're going to do y divided by x. So y is 6 divided by 1 equals 6. Next point, 3 and 18. Again, y divided by x, 18 divided by 3 equals. Again, I bet you, I know what 60 divided by 10 is going to be 6. And last point is 20 and 120. Remember, we're doing y divided by x. 120 divided by 20 equals 6. Okay, so we know what k is. We know that k is 6. So we come on over here. Another box right there. And I'm going to say it's not inverse, but it is direct. Direct variation. And you know the direct variation equation, if we look back up here. There it is right here. Y equals kx. So we have y equals k times x. Capitalize. Y equals k times x. A little bigger for you so everybody can see it. Hopefully. All right, and we found k, and you might know what it is. It's 6. Here it is. 6. So y equals 6x. Now you can check it. Y is always going to equal 6x. So first point, you have x is 1. 6 times 1 is 6. That's right. Next point, 6 times 3 is 18. Right again, 6 times 10, 60. 6 times 20, 120. All right. Hope you understood that. See me in Zoom if you didn't. Try them on your own. Go back and watch. Okay.